Let me start with a question that might make you sit up a little straighter. What would you do if one day you suddenly ejaculated and nothing came out? No fluid, no pressure, just nothing. Because tens of thousands of older men experience this exact moment and almost none of them talk about it. Some panic, some feel embarrassed, some think, that's it, something's wrong with me. Others worry it's a sign of prostate cancer, low testosterone, or the end of their sex life. But here's the shocking truth. Dry ejaculation after 70 is not what most men think it is. In fact, you've probably been misled for years about what's normal, what's dangerous, and what your body is actually trying to tell you. Stick with me, because once you understand the real science behind it, you may never look at your body the same way again. And I promise the truth is nowhere near as scary as the myths. So take a breath. You're about to learn something every man over 50 wishes he'd been told sooner. Let's be honest. Men talk about everything: cars, money, politics, gym routines. But when it comes to changes in sexual function, especially after 60 or 70, silence, jokes, or Google searches at a M, and in that silence, myths grow. Dry ejaculation means you're losing masculinity. It's a sign your prostate is failing. It means cancer is coming. It means you'll never enjoy sex again. Men fear this topic because ejaculation feels like a symbol of youth, power, pleasure, and identity. So when the fluid changes, or stops, or becomes a dribble instead of a fountain, men panic. And that fear gets worse with age. Because after 70, the body is shifting constantly slower hormones, smaller prostate volume, medications, surgeries. But here's what almost no one tells you. Most of the fear around dry ejaculation is based on outdated assumptions and incomplete knowledge. Today, we tear that old story down. So here's my commitment to you. In the next few minutes, I'm going to break down the real science behind dry ejaculation in a way that's simple, honest, and empowering. No scare tactics, no taboos, no medical jargon meant to confuse you. Just the truth. And the truth is this: dry ejaculation is often the opposite of what men fear. In many cases, it's not a warning sign, but a predictable, biological outcome of aging, medications, and prostate changes. But before I explain why, we need to understand what's actually happening inside the body. And trust me, this next part will shock you. Let's break this down simply. When you ejaculate, 3 major players are involved. The prostate. Think of it as a mixing station. It adds important fluids that help make up semen. The seminal vesicles. These are like 2 storage tanks behind the bladder. They produce the majority of your ejaculatory fluid. The vas deferens. These are the pipes. They carry sperm from the testicles up to join the fluids above. Now here's the part most men never learned. Your sperm, the tiny swimmers, make up only about 1-5 of the total semen volume. Let that sink in. The fluid you see during ejaculation, almost all of it comes from the prostate and seminal vesicles. So if the fluid changes or disappears, it doesn't automatically mean anything is wrong with your testicles or manhood. It means something is changing in the plumbing, not the engine. And after 70, that plumbing changes a lot. Let's bust the biggest myths one by one. Dry ejaculation means low testosterone. Reality: testosterone affects libido more than fluid volume. You can have normal testosterone and still produce very little semen. Dry ejaculation means prostate cancer. Reality: not true. Cancer symptoms don't usually start with ejaculatory volume. In fact, volume naturally decreases with age. Something is blocked. Reality: blockages are rare. It's usually the result of lifestyle changes, aging, medications, or procedures. Once you have dry ejaculation, pleasure disappears. Reality: ejaculatory volume and sexual pleasure are 2 different functions. Many men still experience strong orgasms even with little or no fluid. Now that we've cleared the myths, let's get to the moment you've been waiting for. The big reveal. Here's the truth almost nobody talks about. After age 70, a large percentage of men naturally experience reduced or dry ejaculation even if they are completely healthy. Why? Because the prostate shrinks or changes. The seminal vesicles empty more slowly. The body becomes less efficient at producing seminal fluid, and nerve signals become slower. But here's the shocker. Dry ejaculation is often not a malfunction, it's an adaptation. Yes, Your body is adapting to aging, conserving energy, and shifting priorities. Just like your hair thins, your skin changes, your recovery time increases, your ejaculatory fluid also shifts. Now here's the part that surprises most men. Some medications almost guarantee partial or complete dry ejaculation, especially prostate medications, blood pressure drugs, antidepressants, diabetes medications. If you're over 70, the odds you're on at least one of these are very high. And that means the odds of reduced ejaculation are high too. Suddenly, the mystery doesn't feel so mysterious anymore, does it? Let's break it down into real-life explanations. Reason number 1. Reduced fluid production. Imagine you had to garden hoses in your backyard, but over the years, both hoses become older, stiffer, and produce less water. Nothing is wrong, they just don't flow like they used to. Same with the seminal vesicles. Reason number 2. Prostate changes. A younger prostate is like a firm, healthy sponge. An older prostate becomes softer, less elastic. It simply doesn't expel fluid with the same force anymore. Reason number 3. Retrograde ejaculation. This is a big one. Sometimes the fluid goes backward into the bladder instead of outward. You don't see anything, but the orgasm still happens. And guess what? It's common, it's painless, and it's often caused by medications. Reason number 4. Nerve desensitization. Your nervous system isn't as quick as it was at 25. Nerve signals weaken, so the muscles that push out fluid don't contract as strongly. Reason number 5. Prostate surgery or treatment. Even minor prostate procedures can change ejaculatory volume permanently. But again, this affects the plumbing, not the ability to enjoy sex. Before we continue, if you want to support your prostate, pelvic floor, and general men's health, check the link in the description for our recommended prostate support supplement and pelvic floor strengthening guide. It's not magic, but many men find it helpful alongside lifestyle changes. Now back to the good stuff. Let's talk about what actually helps men over 60, 70, and beyond maintain sexual health. Here are practical, simple tips. Stay hydrated. Semen is mostly water. Dehydration equals reduced volume. Move your body. Walking improves circulation to the pelvic region. Limit smoking and alcohol. Both affect nerve function and pelvic blood flow. Strengthen pelvic floor muscles. Think of it like giving your internal muscles a workout. Manage medications wisely. Some prescriptions reduce ejaculation. Always talk to a doctor before changing anything. Maintain prostate health with diet. Foods that help include tomatoes, berries, pumpkin seeds, green tea, and olive oil. Regular checkups. Not because dry ejaculation means something is wrong, but because regular monitoring keeps you ahead of potential issues. Reduce stress. High stress reduces sexual response more than aging does. Improve sleep quality. Sleep directly affects sexual hormones and nerve function. Now, let me be absolutely clear. Dry ejaculation alone is not a disease. It's not a moral failure. It's not a sign your masculinity is fading. And for most men, it's not dangerous at all. But it is a signal. Your body is aging just like every other part of you. And you have choices. Healthy choices. Powerful choices. Sexual pleasure does not end with fluid. Intimacy does not depend on volume. And you have far more control over your overall sexual well-being than you think. So let's recap the surprising truth. Dry ejaculation after 70 is common. It's normal. And in many cases, it's simply the body adapting, not failing. Your enjoyment, your intimacy, your connection, your masculinity, none of that depends on how much fluid comes out. In fact, many men report stronger orgasms, less mess, and more confidence once they understand the truth. So instead of worrying, you now have knowledge. And knowledge is power. If this video opened your eyes, hit like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments.